What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. It is Wednesday. Happy hump day to you, March 29th, 2023. And in today's very tricky glass half full video, I am going to talk about a company by the name of Helbiz, symbol HLBZ. Are they about to go through a merger or some sort of an alliance with one of their major competitors, BRDS or MULN? An EV manufacturer, or Sal, the CEO who is not perfect of Helbiz, about to go it alone, but only after a giant reverse split in the stock that ends up screwing us all. All that and more coming right up. Has to be, hands down, the trickiest, somewhat scariest video I've ever done. Here's to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at 2:07 in the PM, just north of Atlanta, Georgia. I want to start off with a couple of disclaimers. First of all, do not take anything that I say as gospel. While I have been trading the stock market for the past 30 years, half of that as a stockbroker, most of my time spent in South Florida. Shout out to those who live in Fort Lauderdale or where I had a house in Delray Beach. I am not perfect. And what I'm about to share with you are 3 or 4 scenarios. We're going to start off with a glass half empty for all you Debbie Downers. In other words, the scenario that is likely to wipe our ass out. And then I'm going to talk about 2 or 3 other ideas, which I keep vacillating back and forth. But I want to start once again. Full disclaimer, take nothing I say as gospel. Never put more than 10% of your holdings into one idea. That way you won't blow up your account. I do not know Sal or any of the CEOs at BRDS or MULN. And while I have engaged with Sal on Twitter a number of times, which I do appreciate, we don't know each other on a personal level, so I have no access to inside information. This is strictly based on what I put together over the last several days, including the last 12 to 24 hours, in an effort to help those of you like myself that are long the stock. I have a ton of it, as I do XELA and TRKA, and follow me on Twitter at Try Small Biz. But before I get into this story, and again, it's about 10 minutes after 2, I want to tell all of you out there who are discouraged, whether you're getting your ass kicked in Helbiz, Trika, XELA, PBLA, or any of the other 6 stocks in total that I own. It's on very low volume. And may I remind everybody that the first quarter, which has been awful for us for the last 2 months, ends in the next 2 days. Do not be surprised if you see some window dressing today, tomorrow, and Friday, where these stocks that are flat on their back. I mean, last trade on Trika, 19.5. Are you shitting me? I don't see the volume right now, but the last time I looked, it was like not even a fifth of its normal daily, which is close to 100 million shares a day. So they're pushing this down, whether it's the bots that has smothered it, or it's the retail investors that I've talked about that are totally negged out, that are hanging on for dear life. And about the only place they are making money is in crypto, which I've nailed. Follow me again on Twitter at Try Small Biz. And by the way, if you do have a small business, get a premium membership at trysmallbiz.com. I can help grow your business. But the focus, once again, is on HLBZ, their potential alliance, if at all, with BRDS. Last trade, 27.5. It was as high as 30 in small change. Notice the relationship of 2.5 to 1 that I mentioned on Twitter. In other words, the market cap and the share price of TRKA is 2.5 times that of Helbiz last trade, 0.122. So here's the deal. I have a 2-hour video, so I'm asking you guys and gals for forgiveness. If I misspeak, it's coming straight from the heart. We don't edit around here, so if you're new, welcome. I swear like a drunken sailor, so I can fucking promise you I'm probably going to drop about 10 F-bombs today because I don't want you to make a mistake. I'm convinced that every stock that you see, whether it's got a green or a red, and that includes BBIG, is going higher. How much higher, I don't know. But in today's video, the focus is on HLBZ again. Last trade, 0.1222. There's those 2s again. And last trade on BRDS, a competitor that they may be acquiring? Yeah, stay tuned for more on that. But let me start off with the glass half empty. Because we got a lot of snowflakes, a lot of Debbie Downers out there that are convinced that, Paris is burning to the ground. We've got mass murders all over the place, which is very, very unfortunate. But that's a topic for another video. I'm here to tell you the same fucking thing I've been saying now for the last 2.5, 3 weeks, as we're at 2:15 in the East Coast here in Atlanta, is that this bear market, which has gone on, in my opinion, for 15 months, basically the same time the Fed started jacking up rates in record pace from zero, where we were for more than a decade, to 5% on the 10-year. But the bond market's saying, hold up a second. You're going to not only cut 1 full point this year, but another full point next year. So the Fed, the bear market is coming to an end. Do not give up on me. More importantly, do not give up on yourself or these stocks. HLBZ, last trade 123. Trika, last trade 19.6. XCLA, where the hell is that? It's on another screen. 0357. Again, these stocks are down. I remember when XCLA used to trade 600 million shares a day. What's it traded now? 60 million? This is a mirage. It's a facade. Whether they goose them up into the end of the quarter or they wait a week or wherever, I'm telling you right now, these stocks are massively oversold on low volume. HLB glass half empty scenario is they do a reverse split in the stock. And it's going to happen in the next 3 days. And similar as the case was in GMBL or COMS or any of other reverse splits you've been a part of, we're about to get our ass kicked. We're about to lose, 20, 30, 40% of our money. The odds of that happening, in my opinion, 10%. So I'm not going to waste any more time on that. Another I'll give a 10% chance to is they've got some sort of alliance with a company in California under the name of Lime. Yeah, you guessed it, Lemon and Limes. LIME. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible. The focus of the remaining part of this video, and I'm going as fast as I can, are on 2 major scenarios. It is some sort of an alliance or takeover with MULN and or BRDS, or Sal, which I'm kind of leaning towards, goes it on his own, may in fact do a reverse split with a name change around this micro mobility nonsense that we've been hearing. But let's start off with MULN. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why MULN would want to go anywhere near HLBZ. They've got their own problems. Last trade 10.5. It is up almost 10% today on decent volume, but that's what? Within a penny of an all-time low. They're in the electric vehicle space. What the hell do they want with a $15 or $20 million scooter or e-bike company? Answer, I don't think any. If anything, Sal, who again is the CEO at Helbiz, who I actually have some respect for, may want to do an alliance with MULN. Why? Their manufacturing capacity. In last night's earnings report, you did see Helbiz lost over $70 million on a run rate in terms of revenue of between $15 and $20 million. In other words, they're going bankrupt unless something happens, and soon. Now, to their credit, they've cut a lot of costs. They laid off at least 15 or 20% of their workforce. They are moving towards, in the next quarter or the one after, profitability. But you might be sitting there, as I was this morning, thinking, okay, you just lost $70 million in the prior year. You've got revenue that's a tiny fraction of that. How the fuck are you going to be profitable anytime soon? Well, if they do an alliance and tap into MULN's supply chain / manufacturing capacity, maybe they can crank out these orders. They have at least 2 pre-orders, if you remember, in record time and skinny down the costs, improve profitability, efficiency, etc. And that does get them towards profitability in the next quarter or two. So again, I don't see why MULN would want anything to do with Helbiz, but I can see why 10 to 20% in terms of my wager as to why Sal might want an alliance with them, which leads me to what I think is going to happen in one of 2 cases. I don't know why I have this. It's now 2:20 something. Do not give up. Do not give in. I have been inundated with fucking emails in the last several weeks. We've had over 100 people quit at trysmallbiz.com because they can't take the heat. I'm telling you right now, whether this ends tonight, tomorrow, next month, or by Memorial Day, this madness, these stocks that have just been flat on their back or in free fall for the last 2 months is going to come to an end. And that includes everything that we own at on Twitter. Follow me. And HLBZ, which I have a huge position at 13 cents. I go back and forth between the following two scenarios. The first one is that because we have an almost identical ratio of 2.5 to 1, last trade on Helbiz, 12 and small change. Now you're starting to see BRDS come down. It's 26.90. So it peaked at 30.31. It was 2.5 times. So I'm sitting there going, is this even possible that Sal is actually the buyer? Is it possible that a $20 million company, tops, with a market cap that's 2.5 times less than the 96 million, I believe I shared it on Twitter, for BRDS, is it possible? Well, it is. If he's going to tap into $70 million that he has through Yorkville. That news was out, 2 weeks ago? And he's lined up some sort of convertible preferred to go with what he already has, some financing, I don't know. But he's going to have to give BRDS, if he is the buyer, and I'm going to assume for a second it's cash. He's going to have to give them close to 50 cents, or they're going to say, I don't think so. We've already gone from a dime to 30 cents. We don't need you. We don't need you laying flat on your back, a penny and a half off an all-time low. The more likely scenario with respect to BRDS and Helbiz is that Birds, based out of Miami, Helbiz is out of New York, is the buyer. And if the ratio, and keep it simple, stupid, that's what I do. If you can't understand at a third grade level what I'm talking about, then I'm making this way too complicated. At 12 and small change on Helbiz, and let's call it 30 for easy math on BRDS, they are in sync or in line with where they should be. You've got one company doing 2.5 to 3 times as much in revenue. That's BRDS, which is larger. You've got a 90 some odd million dollar market cap with, I believe it's 35 or 36 million. So 2.5 times as large in terms of market cap and stock price. So in simple terms, they could do a merger of equals right now, maybe change the name, having something to do with micromobility, and of course the ticker symbol, which could actually screw the naked shorts over big time because you'd have a whole new name, whole new ticker, whole new QSIP number. Again, I'm keeping it simple. And then you sex up the story and you say, look, we're out of New York, Helbiz. I'm out of Miami. But as I pointed out on Twitter, Helbiz has an alliance with the Miami soccer team and has for the last 2 or 3 years anyway. And you did see where I also said, as of yesterday, BRDS announced they're going to get into Italy. Well, Sal's from Sicily. Why are they getting into the same territories where each one operates unless they're getting ready to come together? So again, and I know this is going to be too simple for some of you that have been around the block, but we have a lot of folks that are very new to investing. And if I start talking about conversion ratios and debt loads and all this other stuff, they're going to get confused. So right now with Helbiz at 12 and small change, and now it's coming down. It's close to a quarter now on BRDS. It's 2 to 2.5 times, but they're exactly where they should be in terms of revenue, market cap, and share price to come out with news in the next day or 2 or 3 and say we're merging. And I don't know who the buyer is, if I'm to be honest with you. I could make the case for both, and there's an hour-long video. Now, in closing, the last scenario, and this is the one that if you told me I had to choose, I'm leaning towards, is the following. 230 at 227, sorry. Hal goes it alone. Sal. Hal's the guy that's working on my garage. Sal goes it alone. The CEO of Helbiz. He's got his little tagline of micro mobility, right? That's his new Twitter handle. It's no longer in terms of the company Helbiz, it's Micro Mobility. So he changed the name, Micro Mobility Incorporated, MOBL or something along those lines for a ticker, a new QSIP. All the shorts, at least the naked ones, are going to be forced to cover if that's the case. And here is why I think it's a glass half full scenario. And I could talk about this for hours, but you guys don't listen anywhere beyond 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm probably already going too long. Let us not forget that Sal, who I have respect for, and I'm certain is going to watch this video and understand, Sal, I'm on the same page. I, like you, want to make money. Now, your average on over 10 plus million shares is over $1, but you did buy, I think, 4 million shares at 0.1766 a few months ago. You do have some as low as 12 or 13 where we are right now, but you need this stock a hell of a lot higher than I do, or the ones that are following me on Twitter at Try Small Biz that own it at 13 cents. So if Hal, I can hear him out there nailing away. He's putting up some drywall. If Sal decides to go it alone, change the name, the symbol, etc., and do a reverse split, which some of you are going to have a huge problem with, how do we get out of not losing all our money like you normally see with a reverse split? Answer: the same guy who's bought tens of millions of shares as high as $3.50 average, well north of $1, makes an announcement. Sal, are you listening to me? That you and or Yorkville and or your Sicilian mafia buds are ready to step in and buy X number of shares as we go through a reverse split by Monday. And I'm just using that as an example. So this thing doesn't fall out of bed. And it might be one reason why, again, where's it been all effing day long? 0.1222 or 123 all day long. Somebody with very deep pockets has that stock pinned, stuck in place for a reason. So if Sal is smart and you decide to go it alone, Sal, you must get real clear with everybody that owns the stock much higher. We have $10 million on the ready to buy 40 million shares of stock up to a quarter limit if necessary as we go through this reverse split. The last thing that we want to see is shareholder value destruction, given what our committed and loyal shareholders, ones that have been around a lot longer than myself, have been through. So I, as I've done in the past, and I'm speaking as Sal right now, I'm prepared to step up and buy another 5, another 10, another $15 million with the help of Yorkville and or somebody else to ensure that by the time we get through this and have a name change with a new symbol that resonates with what people are going to understand, hell, what does hell have to do with a scooter? In my opinion, nothing. E-bike, nothing. Micro mobility, I can get my arms around that. I can understand that's what it's all about. And I can know, proof is in the pudding, Sal, that when we have to go through something like a reverse split to get NASDAQ compliant, hopefully it's not a huge one, do not give us 50 to 100 to 1. It's not necessary, especially if you're going to be profitable as you claim you're going to be. But get real clear on exactly how much you're prepared to buy and up to what level, exactly what we're looking at in terms of revenue growth. And give us a date on profitability. Don't say we're moving towards. Give us a projection. Put all the lawyer language in there and say, based on this, although we can't be any certain of that, yada, 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 by the third quarter, we see revenue in the area of, assuming you're going it alone, $25, $30 million. And we feel because of the consolidated share base that we might be able to earn 20, 30 cents if all goes right. And you figure out how to say that. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, before I let you go, once again, and I can't stress this enough, I had 4 phone calls today. I know I got some people that are new watching me. Do not give up. Do not fucking give in. I have been in this place before. I was in long-term capital in 98. I was in .com and got crushed in 2000. I got wiped out of the business in 2008, but I was right because I had a ton of NASDAQ puts. That's for another video. I was only 6 months early. I'm telling you right now, based on my experience, I can feel it in my bones. The fucking stocks that we own, this market that's just been melting on low volume is about to come to an end. And when you least expect it, it's going to be woo! That's Ric Flair, by the way. Till next time, always remember that I love you guys and I really appreciate you watching.